When I used to work as a content strategist for other streamers and YouTubers, I would always find myself having to discuss one thing with them. And when I say always, I mean it. It was always the first problem that I would encounter after the partnership between us started. They wanted to make extremely original content, while I wanted them to make videos that would copy already existing ones. And I know that I do sound like the bad guy right now, but buckle up because you will see through this video why I always advise that to small creators. Let's start by talking about the algorithm point of view, right? Which, in other words, to be fair, nowadays could be swapped with the audience, right? What the audience wants and what the audience likes. No matter if it is on YouTube, where there's an actual good algorithm working, or on Twitch, where basically nobody will ever find you except if you're already famous. But nonetheless, especially the beginning of your creator career, you need to do a few things as soon as possible. The first of them is to create your own persona. And you never stop building and evolving in that regard. But in the beginning, you need to find out what kind of creator you want to be. And there are infinite possibilities. You can be the chill dude that people tune to while they're gaming or studying, for example, as if you were their friend chilling with them in a bar, or you could be the most charismatic person capable of entertaining even a fucking rock. And in that regard, I always tell creators one thing: watch who you like, who you follow, and get inspired by them. Try copying their on stream persona. Try copying their way of talking, what they do, how they interact with the video, how they interact with the comments, how they interact with their viewers. But even though it would work, I would never tell you to become an exact copycat of one single person. Think more broadly instead. Find more people that you like and that you follow, even if they are of different kind, and test mixing their personalities to find which one suits you the best. Once you've found it, you can start slowly building your presence as, in fact, your own. This may already give you a hint of what I think about copying, but let's keep diving deeper. As I said, other than that, there's a few other things you must do as a creator. But keep in mind that even though I'm using this specific example, it kind of works like that in basically every other activity, job, or hobby that you can think of. When it comes to thinking of content, you could go with new original one for sure, but the best way, starting out especially, is to learn from who did it the best. And bear with me when I say that there is no better way to learn something than to replicate it. We replicate stuff all the time. When we're kids, we watch our parents as role models and start acting and talking like they do. Maybe growing up, those role models change or expand, building on top of what you have already. The same should go with your content, right? You start taking inspiration from people rule. What the fuck am I saying? Sorry. Who are good role models for yourself and the kind of content you'd like to make, and start replicating them. I know it sounds bad because it easily can go like into just blatantly copying them, and people may catch on, but there's a but. First things first, there's no need to hide it. You're doing nothing different than what already happens in life, and especially on these platforms. People copy other people all the time. Games copy other games, movies copy other movies, books copy other books. You get the point. The universe has been existing for so long that creating something entirely original is basically impossible. What you can do instead is mixing a lot of different cool things into one single pot, creating your own style. This means getting the best of what inspires you, what you like, what you follow, what you would watch yourself, and what you think you could do better, or even what you think is still missing, and start slowly crafting that kind of content. I know you would love to reach this point as soon as possible, and if you are creative and already have experience, maybe you think that you can reach it instantly, and maybe you're an exception and you can, but unluckily, the true nature is that it is extremely hard. Especially if you think doing content that other people would watch other than yourself. This is where there's a balance issue. And this balance issue comes really strong. How much would you sacrifice for being original compared to having something work with a high probability? Sorry, guys. This video is going really bad, but I do those in one take, so amen. The good thing about this is that not only it is an extremely personal answer, and you can actually choose and evolve it in time, so the equilibrium you choose depends only on you, but that you can be happy either way based on your own objective. You could be happy being a number person, for example, and only wanting to get higher and higher numbers, for example, Mr. Beast, if you want a creator example of that. Or you could be happy as a 3 viewers fellow, making those 3 people's days better. Once you know, the only thing left is making your mind about it, stop comparing yourself to others, and start just having fun and making content that you think matters to yourself and the world out there or who you care about. But to reach this point, you will need to learn. And the best way to learn is to replicate. On the internet, this is usually pointed to as wrong, unoriginal, and even sometimes being called a heresy. And people get called out for it. While, to be fair, in the normal world, we do it on a daily basis and we're encouraged by everyone to do so. If you've ever played an instrument, you have probably stolen more songs than you could ever imagine. Mozart, Beethoven, Vivaldi, like it doesn't matter, you name it, you stole it 100%. If you're an artist, even though you may not notice it, you stole the art style of other artists that you looked up to and liked. If you're a gamer, you have for sure stolen your game style by other players. The only thing that matters, though, in the end, is not being fossilized on that stealing part. It has to be there. It is part of the human nature. But with time, through that, you will slowly build up your own musical compositions, your own art style, and your own play style. That, only thanks to yourself and the hundreds of thousands of people you stole from, exists. Or, in better word, you will not be stealing stuff anymore. You will get inspired from it.